Hello and welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere, a brand new channel for D&D gaming and discussions on everything RPG. My name is Dan and I'm the Dungeon Master of a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign set in the Forgotten Realms called Cormyr, Echoes of War, a tale that follows the newest recruits of a adventuring guild called Warhounds Limited. I've been playing D&D for over a decade now, and I'd be really thrilled for you to join us in our journey. We've actually been playing for about a year already, and there'll be a video up soon to explain the story so far. But what you're about to watch is a one-shot prologue to the second arc of our story, with the players taking on some new characters, some of whom may pop up in the main story in the future. The original group was comprised of myself and 5 players: Julia, Carl, Tilda, Anton, and Elle, spread out between Bristol and London in the UK and South Africa. With the start of Arc 2, we've also welcomed Matt to our group, to be our 6th player. And so, without further ado, let us join the crew of the Fortune's Claw on their maiden voyage. The Dragonmere, also known as the Lake of Dragons, is a lake on the Dragon Coast at the western edge of the Sea of Fallen Stars, almost 100 miles from north to south at its widest point. Preyed upon by pirates and other ne'er-do-wells, the safety of the waters south of Suzail can be attributed to the brave forces of Cormyr's small but well-trained and professional Imperial Navy, the Blue Dragons. You are the crew of a newly commissioned corvette named Fortune's Claw, under the watchful eye of the up-and-coming Captain Alina Lear. All stories of heroic deeds, or grievous tragedies, have small beginnings such as this. The Fortune Claw's maiden voyage is in response to reports of a stranded merchant vessel halfway from Westgate. Surely, a simple mission for a group of disciplined sailors. And to get us used to these new characters, we'll go round. So starting from the poop deck, Knowles, if you quickly open up your character sheet, and then on the right hand side of the character sheet is your biography. So if you get you've got your personality traits, your ideals and bonds. So if you give us a very quick description of who you understand Knowles to be.
So, Knowles is a rambling, gambling, friendly soul with an eye for roaming the seas, but with their heart stuck on an island somewhere with a paramour. And has very much a wandering eye when it comes to coin and other little goodies. Maybe a magpie, shall we say?
Okay. And going clockwise round, I suppose next would be the imposing figure that is Reeve.
I'm playing Reeve, the half-orc bosun of the Fortune's Claw. So, Reeve is the bosun who is in charge of the equipment and the crew. She doesn't like rain. Apparently she gets a bit quiet and moody when she's in it. And she generally likes to try and solve problems without violence, but, there's no telling what will happen if things go south, is there? She really values teamwork, so cooperation, communication between her team. She's very determined, finishes what she starts, and she's also very protective of her team. So she doesn't like it when innocent people get hurt. So that's Reeve.
Okay. And next up, we'll go to Subtle. Subtle Brandock.
Am I supposed to read the biography? Is that it?
Yeah, give us a little insight into the peculiarity that is Subtle Brandock.
Okay, my name Brandock. Some people call me subtle. I don't know why. I enjoy sailing into port, make friends over fun. We all do the work, so we all share rewards. I'm loyal to the captain first, everything else second. Once I start drinking, it's hard for me to stop. But basically, you point, I shoot.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect, Randock. And next up is Booth.
Do you want it in a normal voice or in character voice?
You do it
My
however you want to. Yeah.
Oh god. I'm gonna say, Dan, you really screwed me over with the personality because I thought something completely different from Barbarian, but you're running with it. It's both. This is not gonna work. But it's a human cook. I can't do this, I'm sorry.
Do it.
You
Jesus
can
Christ.
do it.
I'm running for my work. I want to make sure. Jesus fucking Christ. Everyone appreciates me. I'm always talking about when people haven't heard of me. I'm a soap who looks down on those who can't appreciate fine art.
Yeah, that's true.
Do we understand 50% of what Cook says is basically what's gonna happen?
I mean, it's at about 50.
I mean, I do get plus 6 to charisma, so it's probably gonna be just hand gestures.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, we'll swing round to Morton.
Yeah, so Morton is a work hard, play hard kind of person. So when she's on deck, she's committed to her job as the ship's medic and to keeping you all alive. Which she goes about with a happy-go-lucky, cheerful demeanour. Probably less, not really an idealistic, patriotic Cormyrian, more committed to you guys than to the flag under which she sails. But yeah, we'll always follow orders, even if she's not sure about them.
How's Morton's language in general?
It's been known to be a bit salty when the ships are down.
So, which I hope is really going to get played up by yourself.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Thanks for that, Dan.
And last but not least, Adremides.
Adremides is an old grizzled war wizard, but he's not your usual kind. He is willing to listen to every side of an argument before making his decision. However, he won't always tell you what he's doing because he is quite convinced you're trying to steal his secrets. And emotions must never cloud my logical thinking, but it is my duty, my solemn duty, to protect each and every one of you. But I am known to overlook obvious solutions in favor of slightly more complicated ones. So, I'll listen and I will give you my fair share, but don't expect it to be the most straightforward path.
So, you are all newly appointed members or crew of the ship named the Fortune's Claw. This is the Fortune's Claw's maiden voyage. The mission itself is extremely simple. There are reports that a merchant vessel has been stranded in the middle of the Dragonmere, and it is your responsibility to approach the vessel, investigate, help the crew and passengers of the ship as necessary, and then, if possible, set up a plan to bring this merchant vessel in if it is safe to do so. The journey across the Dragonmere is relatively uneventful. Morale is high. There is an air of anticipation and amongst you all. Perhaps some of you are curious to see what this sleek little ship is capable of doing out on the Sapphire waters. And yeah, it should be a nice and easy in and out job, and you'll be back in the docks of Suzelle before you know it. As you're traveling, Knowles, you notice that off in the distance, there is a fog creeping across the waters towards you. And it seems to be traveling with a surprising speed. Clearly, the wind is definitely blowing it in your direction. But keeping your your direction on point, the Corvette slices through the fog, which just seems to get thicker and thicker as you go through. Before long, you hear a crew member from the Crow's Nest yell out, "There she is!" And just through the murk of the fog and the mist around you, you can make out a blurred silhouette of a ship much larger than yours. It looks like a standard 3-deck kind of galley ship that would, in your experience, carry a crew of, say, 30 to 40, and significantly large amounts of cargo. This sort of ship is extremely common to see in these waters. The mist makes it slightly difficult to kind of get up to the ship and kind of pull yourself in. But as you get closer and the ship begins to emerge through the mist and the fog, you notice that there is very little sound or noise coming from the ship. It almost seems, if you weren't paying closer attention, it would almost seem as if the ship was abandoned. If it weren't for the telltale sounds of some flickering lantern light and the occasional shadow flitting through the fog coming from the ship. As you close in, Captain Lear, a water genasi captain of some renown, kind of looks at the ship and then kind of gathers the 6 of you together to address you. I'm not saying that this should be a throwaway mission, but let's not ham this up, shall we? This is the sooner we get back to Suzelle, arguably the better. But some would say that quality over quantity is preferable, but I think for the new crew of the Fortune's Claw, we should be striving for both. So, quick as you can, best as you can, she says.
Don't worry, Captain. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I'm sorry, Private Brannock, that we're not expecting to kill anything on this ship.
So we're basically just nicking everything we can off the boat, putting it back into our boat, and then sailing off, just like proper thieving.
The captain looks to you, Reeve. No, we're rescuing these stranded passengers.
Remember what we talked about, Knowles.
Okay. But if there's anything that's free to take, we're bringing it back to help people with. Is that right?
To eventually give back to the passengers who we have also rescued and brought back to port. Yes.
Oh.
Okay, Captain. No killing then. Not today.
Although logically, Captain, anything that does remain behind, obviously the ship is doomed. Anything that may help our journey back is obviously logical to bring aboard. However, you are right, we should hand it back to the the people that it belongs to, but anything that may not belong to them, we could always call scavenger run.
No, you may not, she says, just looking at you all in bewilderment.
So if there's anything that's valuable but no one's claiming it, then we just leave it there and it just goes to the bottom of the ocean. Is that right?
Nothing's going to the bottom of the ocean. No, the ship is merely stranded. It's not sinking.
Captain, I do want to remind you that we're sending Subtle aboard.
Yes, perhaps I should just stay here.
Despite Private Brannog's best intentions, this ship shall not sink on our watch. Do we have an understanding? We are not here to pilfer. We are not here to pillage. We are blue dragons. We are the most highly disciplined fighting force on the Dragonmere.
I shall keep them honest, don't worry, Captain.
Thank you, Adremides, she says.
I assume I'll need my medkit, Captain.
I think that would be for the best.
Just in case. In case Branduk's new leaf isn't quite as turned over as you expect.
Okay. So with that, the rest of the crew have organised the little kind of the little rowboat that the six of you kind of jump down into, and you begin the Fortune's Claw is kind of in inverted commas parked itself about 100 feet away from the ship, which you have learnt from the captain is called the Siren's Tear. As you head through the waters, it feels as if you're sailing through clouds as you approach. But looking up, you can see sort of like the figurehead is that of a somewhat basic, but a basically designed siren, like a mermaid of some sort. You notice that whilst the sails are unfurled and kind of fully out, there appears to be no movement in them whatsoever. Like the wind, the slight breeze that you feel kind of tickling the hairs on the back of your necks, just doesn't seem to be shifting the sails in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, whoever's rowing manages to bring the boat up to the side. And which of the six of you is it that calls up?
I guess Reeve might.
Okay. What do you shout up?
Is anyone aboard?
There is a silence from the ship. Before, there's an uncomfortably long silence from the ship. Before a face of a human man pokes his head over the side of the ship and looks at you with a confused. There's a confused look on his face, and he. Yes. Blue. You're blue dragons?
That's right. We're here to assist. What seems to be the trouble?
You see him, and he just looks thoroughly perplexed by that question, and he please come aboard, he says, and like a rope ladder gets thrown over the side of the boat.
Can I insight him, please, just to figure out whether he might be under the influence of something, or if he maybe is in trouble and is not allowed to show it, or something like that? Nope, I have no idea. Too foggy. It's just too foggy.
Yeah, just seems like a very peculiar chap.
Okay. Did you say there's a rope ladder or something?
Yeah, so he's just thrown a rope ladder over the side of the boat down to your rowboat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can Brandok address Booth, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cook, can you please explain what we are doing? We are not killing. We are not pillaging. So what are we doing? Okay, all right. I listen to you.
Actually, at
Okay.
one point, he starts pointing at the siren, and and you get the impression that he's trying to wax poetics about the carving work, how well it's made.
Yep.
It's work right. You should appreciate it.
Okay, so the six of you kind of make your way up the rope ladder onto. Oh, yes, El?
When climbing up, is there any sort of portcullises or any kind of like windows or anything?
There are windows, but the vast majority of them kind of you can't see into them for the darkness on the other side.
Okay.
Or there is some dim lantern light, but the windows look kind of grimy.
Okay.
So yeah, you manage to the six of you pull yourselves up onto the main deck. The main deck looks surprisingly tidy for a merchant vessel. The sails are unfurled but hang limply due to the lack of wind. Several lanterns shine out into the dreary gloom, but the fog that surrounds the ship appears almost solid from where you're standing, causing an unshakable sense of isolation to creep through you. It is eerily quiet, save for the creaking of wooden boards and the gentle lapping of the sea behind you. You see doors and access to the stern and prow decks to your left and right, whilst a set of stairs heads down into the main body of the ship. Two crewmates are rummaging through a crate of coal on the port side, whilst another two stand beneath the ship's main mast.
Most unusual.
And they turn to, well, the crew member that threw the rope over the edge the rope ladder over the edge is stood under the main mast. The two who are rifling through the box of coal don't seem to have acknowledged your arrival. What do you do?
Reeve will probably address the guy we spoke to before and say, who's in charge around here?
The man turns to you and who's in
Anybody? And Reeve starts looking around at the other people on the deck.
The other two turn their heads to look at you. You notice that they too have looks of frustration and confusion on their faces as they dig into the crate of coal. How can we help? One of them
Reeve?
shouts out.
Yes.
Buy me some time. I think I need to have a look at something. I'm going to need a few minutes, but something's ill, and I'm wanting to, as they say, test the winds.
Agreed. Something's off about this. Do what you can.
As a ritual, Adramus will cast Detect Magic.
In the sort of like 10 minutes whilst this is happening, you watch as the crewmate that threw the rope ladder over the edge, he kind of returns to the main mast, and then he starts to loosen the rigging, and then he stops, tilts his head slightly, shakes his head, and starts retightening the rigging. And then he finishes and then looks at it with a perplexed expression, and then loosens it again. And he just seems to do that over and over. The dark-skinned man stood next to him, who doesn't appear to be wearing the clothes of a sailor, just is watching the crewmate with concern.
Reeve is going to turn to the others, apart from Adremedes, who's busy, and say, have a look around, see if you can find anything unusual, but keep it subtle. And she gives Brandock a stern look.
Bosun, if I may, would you like me to give them a once-over? They don't look quite right, do they?
Good idea. Go ahead.
What's up, Booth?
The two people going through the call,
Yes.
it looked like they are trying to dig through it.
Mhm.
Okay, and I think that in that case, Booth is going to walk up to them and start and take out his stirring ladle. Wrong. Start shoveling it for them with much greater speed.
As you do it, they sort of like look at you and, what are you doing? What? And as you just start shoveling it out of the box, and the older sailor, stop that! He says, stop that! You're making a mess! He says, and sort of like hand palms you off, and they mutter themselves as they start picking up the coal and putting it back in the box. So every time you get close, one of them kind of pushes you away. And you all watch as they finally finish putting all the coal back in the box and like looking at you with this just look of complete and utter irritation. And then they turn back to the coal, they look at each other, have this like look of determination on their faces, look back at the crate of coal, and they just start digging through it again. And then after a few seconds, they stop, blink a few times.
At which point, Booth is going to just lean over with the ladle.
And yeah, one of the crewmen, what are you doing? He says, and they palm you off.
And I walk away.
Okay. So Adremedes is casting. Morton, you've headed there. Is anyone else having a wander around? You have the stairs to the prow of the ship here, and the stern of the ship and the prow of the ship to your right. So Knowles, as you head up onto the poop deck, as you head up, 3 people stand at the prow of the ship, looking out into the fog. The rightmost person, a half-elf woman with long brown hair and an outfit that matches her lavender eyes, turns and regards you with a worried smile.
You're right there, my lovelies.
The half-elf sort of like, she raises her eyebrows, and she, as you approach, she says, I'm so thankful that you're here. Everything's gone a bit weird.
Does seem a bit off, if you will.
The other 2 haven't turned to regard you.
So, what would you say the weirdness was exactly? I mean, apart from the obvious weirdness, when did it start exactly?
Who are you asking?
The lavender-eyed woman.
Okay. She sort of like she looks you up and down, and then there's a moment where it seems like she doesn't entirely trust you, but then she kind of accepts that you are in fact a blue dragon, it seems. And she says, it's the most curious thing. we've been on this journey for some time, and what? It's so peculiar. I th- the I think it was the captain. The captain stopped the ship. There was this fog. The captain sailed into this fog, and then he stopped the ship, and then he and the first mate they were gathered the crew together. They were talking about something, and then the two of them just got into a rowboat and sailed out into the waters. We haven't seen them since.
And they just left you here. And what? Why is everyone else being so quiet? Might you say?
Well, I'm not sure they're being quiet as such. And she kind of taps the dark-haired woman on the shoulder next to her. And this crewmate turns around and, "Oh, you're right, love. How can I help?"
You're right, my love. Yeah, just wanting to see what all this odd fog is about. And maybe we can help you to get off and sail along.
Yeah, she it is odd, isn't it? It just surrounded the whole boat. You can't see through it. Don't know where it came from though. Who are you?
Oh, me? Oh, my name is Knowles, so I'm here with the Blue Dragons, and I'm here to help you get off this foggy ship and maybe help you get to a safer place. But it just seems a bit odd where everyone... What? You're all just standing here. Surely, I mean, if we all start walking this way, we can all get off the boat and get sailing along again.
And the crewmate sort of like, in a bit, just finishing up on my thoughts.
Oh, what kind of thoughts you having?
And like she turns her back to you and like tilts her head up and, where did fog come from?
Right. Yeah, great. Lovely. So, great chats there, and I'm gonna go this way. Nice to meet you all. I'll back off slowly and oddly, but the other way around.
Yeah, the crewmate kind of nods, and LG just looks at you and kind of shrugs her shoulders.
So, just to check, Eldry doesn't seem to be in this sort of weird fog in the same way.
The half-elf.
The half-elf.
Shrugs her shoulders.
Ah. So, do you want to take a little walk around with me? Help me get acquainted with the crew and all that?
The half-elf turns to you and, if you don't mind, I'm going to stay here and make sure that these two don't forget how to stand on a ship or something.
All right then.
The last thing we want is one of these going overboard, I suspect.
Tell me, are there any other elves or any other half-elves or any other people in the crew?
She thinks about it and, no, I think I was the only person of elvish descent. I think everyone else was a human, actually.
Alright, and everyone on the boat, everyone on the ship here is a little bit foggy, shall we say?
I mean, I think so.
Great!
There are some more of... There are some... I've noticed that some of them seem a bit more cognate. So perhaps it might be worth talking to them.
Certainly. Who, and would you recommend, what's the names of these peoples?
She kind of points off the, like, she points behind you, and she points at the dark-skinned fellow under the main mast. He seems a bit more chatty than the rest of the crew. I don't think he's part of the crew. I don't know.
Okay then. Right, well, it's really nice to meet you, and I hope you have a very nice time looking out of the fog, and we'll all be back soon to get you off this ship, yeah?
She smiles. Good luck.
Thank you.
We're counting on you. Right, back on the main deck. Subtle and Reeve, what are you doing?
So I guess Reeve is gonna keep Subtle with her to make sure he doesn't blow a hole in the side of the ship or something. I guess she's gonna start making her way perhaps to these doors over here. So in fact she just has. So there we go. That's good. And can Subtle come with me?
Yeah.
Just while Anton's not here.
I'll just pull him behind you. Okay.
So she starts just having a look about.
So the candles illuminating the room create dancing shadows from the half-eaten food covering the table. The room creaks as you enter.
Can I just do a quick perception check to see if there's anything remarkable or unusual in this room?
It'd be more one of those.
Investigation. Okie doke. 17.
Okay. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this does look like a pretty standard mess hall for a larger ship.
Okay.
The one thing that does catch your eye, however, is that the food on the table appears to be about a day old.
Right. So these, in theory, the crew could have been a bit muddled for up to a day or more. Okay. Yep.
Morton.
Yeah.
We'll do yours, and then that'll be 10 minutes.
As I walk up to this chap, kind of pulling out my med bag, is he turning to face me?
The crewman or the...
Well, either, but I guess I'm walking towards the crewman particularly.
Okay. The crewman just seems utterly kind of engrossed and confused by the rigging that he's tightening and loosening.
Alright, so she'll say as she walks up, "Okay, look, listen up, dozy fucker, look at me." And she'll kind of like pull him by the scruff of his neck to turn to face her and just give him the kind of couple of slaps on his face.
And the crewmate turns around and what do you want? He says.
That's it. That's great. Just let me look in your eyes. Just pulling his eyelids open.
Sure. And he sort of like squirms and struggles. And I've had my medical. He says as he's kind of patchy away. The fellow next to him says, "That's the most animated I've seen him in quite some time."
Just you wait till he sees the syringe.
I assume you are the physician of this group.
Aye, that's me for my sins. You feeling all right?
I feel better than our friend here, he says, gesturing at the crewmate that's kind of trying to pull himself away from you.
How long's he been like this?
That's a good question. I suppose I feel as if the answer is as long as I can remember, but I feel like it's not been that long.
I guess she would be giving them a once over for any kind of physical wounds or marks on their body. Can I do like a medicine check or something?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we do that and then this balloon.
Oh, so I can just click. Oh, that's fancy.
Welcome to Foundry, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sweet.
This crewmate looks in fine health. I mean, well, he looks in fine health. Perhaps as you're inspecting him, you hear his stomach grumble. quite loudly, you might notice. Perhaps he looks a bit dehydrated, but again, when it comes to sailors on a ship, perhaps that's not the most unusual thing. Rum is a poor substitute for water. But yeah, no, he looks fine. He just looks very confused. I mean, he looks a bit grumpy, actually, at the moment, because you're prodding and poking him against his will, but yeah, he just looks a bit confused.
It sounds like you're in need of a square meal, my lads. When was the last time you ate?
The crewmate, well, obviously, the last time I ate was, I mean, it would have, surely, I guess it must have been this morning, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
Do you remember what your name was this morning?
Oh, of course. My name's Stober.
Stober. It's a pretty name.
Is this how you speak to all the men in your life, Doctor?
Only the ones I like.
Oh. And the crewmate, he looks at the passenger and kind of wiggles his eyebrows. Hey. The passenger next to him, so he, this is a guy he's clearly not part of the crew. He's wearing kind of very elaborate, floofy orange and black clothing. It's clear from his attire and the way he holds himself that he's most likely some sort of merchant. And he holds a hand out, and Tanor, he says. He kind of goes to shake your hand.
Pleased to meet you. You wouldn't know if there's a doctor on board, would you, as part of the crew?
Perhaps. I mean, if there is, they would be down below. It's certainly none of these. No.
All right. I think I need to check his or her records. So, could you show me where that is?
If you don't, well, I think it. I've kind of pledged myself to making sure that this chap's in fine health. But I mean, you and your associates look like you're more than capable of exploring the ship. There's no danger on board. With everyone in the current state that they're in, it couldn't be any further from it. And it appears you have a wizard, so you're doubly fine. But yeah, he gestures to the stairs, kind of behind him. That's the entrance to the rest of the ship.
Okay. Yeah, I think at that point I'll just kind of go, okay, and go report to Reeve.
Dremedes.
So Dremedes is going through his book. He's casting the ritual. As the 10 minutes pass, he throws his hands out. Ashi and Ekon, he cries, an old Cormyrian, and his monocle illuminates.
Okay. And that lasts for 10 minutes. Perfect. So, as you look around, nothing lights up. You spent the last 10 minutes expecting it to, yet it has not.
Reeves!
It's Reeve.
Well, Reeves, Rodney, Rupert, whichever. This ship isn't...
My name is not Rupert. Okay.
He pats Subtle on the head. We have a problem. One that I didn't expect to find.
What's the dromedary?
Well, you see, Reeve, I was expecting this place to be awash with magic. It is not. In fact, there isn't a lick of magic on this boat other than myself. I look down at myself, I see magic. I look elsewhere, I see sweet nothing.
Could it be that the magic is somewhere else? Perhaps below deck?
Possibly, but there'd at least be some permeation coming through.
I don't know, big boat like this, it might be out of range.
But if these people were forgetful for a spell, I mean, they'd have a small aura around them, but... Look at this gentleman over here. Nothing.
Morton? Could it be some kind of poison?
Nothing obvious, bosun. But they're balmy as a barnacle, a lot of them.
I mean, they say that this started happening after the fog came over, so... I don't know, does weather make you really forgetful?
Magical weather, possibly, but again, this fog, against all better judgment, is not magical.
What's Booth's take?
Sorry, Dan.
I imagine everyone's looking at Booth at the moment and just turns back. Is like, yes, I mean, it's...
Are you the Kenny of the South Park group? We agree. That's...
Yeah, good point, Booth.
Hadn't thought that way.
So,
currently there's more magic on Booth's boot than there is on this ship.
yes, that is very much a curious kind of thing. That said, Agemides, you know that the range of your spell would be about 30 feet, and whilst the vast majority of the construction of this ship being wood isn't going to impede that too much, you don't know what is below your feet.
This is right, yeah, that's what Reeve is thinking. Reeve turns to Knowles and says, Knowles, you said that the captain and the first mate sailed away.
Well, I was gonna tell you about that, yeah. They just seem to have sailed off into the sunset, or somewhere else, I guess. Not the sunset, there's no sunset around here when there's all this fog going on, but somewhere. The lady on the poop deck, she seems to know a bit more about that. You know, come to think of it, I didn't ask her where they sailed off to, if they went that way or that way.
On what we find down below, we may need to ask her. Right, who's willing to come down below deck with me? Very well, let's go. And,
Okay.
So which way's below deck? Which way's...
So this here is the stairs down.
Right, yeah, we'll go barreling off that way.
Okay.
I guess also, is there a door to open for it? Because I imagine...
No, it's just literally just like a staircase down into the ship. Pop, pop,
Okay.
pop. Pop, pop. There we go.
here we are.
So, you stoop your head as you descend the stairs into the cargo hold. If you had any hopes that being in the hull of the ship would stave off the chill that hangs in the air, you are sorely mistaken. Crates are stacked up somewhat haphazardly around sleeping bags on the floor, and flickering lanterns cast light on hunched individuals murmuring quietly to one another.
I guess Reeve will approach them and say, does it appear to be all women in the group?
Actually does, yes.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, evening?
It was afternoon when you...
Yeah.
It was morning when you left.
Oh, okay.
So
So
it's
what-
probably about... Yeah, still late morning.
Okay. Good morning. We're here from the Blue Dragons. What seems to be the trouble?
So again, you notice that 3 of them appear to be crewmates. The 4th is wearing more ostentatious garb, which kind of sets her out as a merchant, you suspect. And the 3 crewmates, "G'day, officer," they say as they look you up and down. I don't think anything's the problem. No. What makes you say that?
Well, we were told that the ship was stranded.
You were?
Mm-hmm.
And the three of them look at each other, and we should probably sort that. Should... And then they look at each other again, utterly confused, and they turn to you and, could you not, could you sail it for us? I mean, how many of there are you?
Reeve looks around at her crew, her team, inquisitively. Like,
Was there only the 5 of you? Yeah, I think you might need more than that. Oh,
And what precisely is stopping you from sailing the ship?
One of the other women talks up. Well, clearly nothing's stopping us from sailing the ship. I mean, we can just... We know how to... We do know how, don't we? Yeah, and of course we do. That's... What do you do on the ship? What? And then they look at you. The second one looks at you and says, could you sail us out?
Reeve is going to look at the merchant.
Yes.
And I just want to sort of get a read on whether the merchant looks any more cognizant at the moment.
Cognizant enough that she turns to you, and as the sailors start talking to each other, she rubs her face with her hand and squeezes the bridge of her nose. I don't understand how long this is going to last. And she turns and you are purple, you are blue dragons, yes?
That's right.
I honestly do not know what has happened to the crew, but I have some important cargo, and it needs to be delivered. We are supposed to already be in Suzail. Perhaps if the crew are useless, and I mean they can look after the ship, but perhaps you can help us.
Did you notice anything strange when all this started happening?
It was all I know is that the ship came to a stop. I heard some talking about the captain. The captain left the ship. Apparently he was going to come back very soon, but we haven't seen him. Perhaps he's been eaten by a shark or something. Do you get sharks in this part of the world? This is a very big lake. It could be sharks. I don't know.
Reeve tells her to sit tight and says that they're investigating.
She kind of nods. What's Booth doing?
I think Booth is wandering around to see if there's anyone else who looks like worth looking, who looks is worth talking to.
Sure.
I see there are 2 other people in here.
Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, sort of through the alleyway of boxes, stood on the far side is a female crewmate who's currently kind of got a small knife, and she's just kind of twizzling the tip of it on one of her fingers, just idly. Every so often you see her go, ah! And then just goes back to doing it. And then,
Okay.
ah! There's a crewmate that's kind of he's currently laid down in a bed. Well, I say a bed, just like a sleeping bag on the floor, and he just seems to be tirelessly tossing from one side to another. And finally, like leant up against the box, or sat up against the box, is another merchant-looking type with kind of a red bowl cut, like a well-kept bowl cut and beard set up, and he's just idly. Well, he's just got his fingers clasped together, and you see him just kind of twirling his thumbs.
Okay. Think I will go talk to. Because he's the only one I can see, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Over.
The man looks up and, oh, by the gods, what? Oh, are you a, what? And he looks you up and down because you're just in your kitchen attire.
Yeah.
And are you? I'm sorry. Are you a corsair or something? Are you here to pillage the ship?
Ship.
Enunciate, man. You need to enunciate.
Of
course.
At this point, Booth just into one of his pockets brings out a small flask. Corks it. It's a sip. Oh, that should be a bit better.
Just a swig of Cavonia. Okay.
Oh, this cold is really, really bad. And then
you get inspiration for that.
Sorry.
I'm giving you inspiration for that. Okay.
Where is your captain?
The merchant shrugs his shoulders and, well, he's not my captain. Apparently he buggered off, so who knows where he's gotten to. Perhaps you should.
Oh,
I would suggest you ask. I would suggest you ask the crew. And he says, and he points to a number of the people just kind of loitering around. I would, I would suggest you speak to them, but they're all utterly useless. Chocolate teapots, the lot of them.
Quite useless at the moment, I agree. A question for you. You seem like an intelligent fellow.
Yes. Yeah, you are correct.
That is going to be a long day.
Um,
Do the crew and the passengers eat together?
The crew do, yes.
Oh, you serve the same food that they eat and the same drinks they drink.
The merchant studies you for a second and... Yes, in fact, no, I think we do eat the same things, yes. I mean, it's all just rations, really, isn't it? It's...
Only on a really bad ship. On my ship, serve proper food, not just rations.
Well, I mean, if there were such luxuries on your ship, then perhaps we would have had more luck being on your ship. Which actually bears the question. I was actually due in Suzail some time ago. My cargo is quite precious. Given the lethargy that has spread through this crew, as you can well see, perhaps you would be able to escort me and my companions on your vessel.
Reeves!
Yes. Is it in here?
Yeah. So you see Booth talking to a red-haired man who's just kind of sat with his, one knee up, one leg outstretched, just a very kind of leisurely pose. And he looks at you and, are you the captain of the Blue Dragons?
No, I'm the bosun.
Ah, I see. the bosun. Well, I was speaking to your well-informed companion, your well-informed colleague here. Some companions and I, we have deadlines. You understand? You know, the Suzailans aren't wont to dilly-dally when it comes to deadlines and trade agreements. So, it is of the utmost importance that we make it to Suzail yesterday, really, as quickly as you can. Perhaps, you know, these crew are fine to look after themselves, but perhaps you could take us to our destination, and then someone else can sort out this mess.
I understand your sense of urgency, sir. However, the Blue Dragons are not in the habit of abandoning people in need. Sit tight, and we'll get you out of here as soon as we can.
Well, we can't sit tight for too long. It's a very important business deal. A business arrangement, you understand.
I understand, sir.
And he just kind of slouches back to his box. What's Knowles doing?
Gonna go up to this door and try it.
Okay. The door opens.
Oh yeah, it does. And then I'm gonna go through.
The waft hits you as you discover this is the ship's latrine.
Ugh. Before I leave, is there? Can I just take a look around and see if there's any kind of? Okay. Can I just look around and see if there's anything in here that's a bit off?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. Yeah. No. You notice. Your keen senses note. It appears that this area has not been cleaned or serviced probably for about a day and a half. Like, it's stanky in here.
But it has been used in the last day and a half. Okay.
Yeah. As you understand it, no one's like pat themselves.
Okay. And is there anything else in there that's worth looking for?
Nothing that you are comfortable getting close to.
Okay. Off I go then. Ugh. And then close the door because it obviously smells quite a lot.
You do not want to go in there.
Stay away from that bit there.
Okay. So, yeah. Anything else? So, Reeve and Booth, I should say, whilst you're talking to this red-haired merchant, you notice that another flight of stairs down into the bottom cargo hold is behind you. But let's jump to Adremides. As you glance around, again, no magic.
So yeah, I think he's wandering around, everyone's talking, then he goes up and idly tries the door.
Okay. And the door appears locked.
Knowles?
You're right there, Andremides.
I'm great. Would you mind seeing if you can get this door open? He says quietly and takes a step forward.
Oh, all right then. Hey, just give me a little, just do a little bit of a distraction, will you?
You don't have tools, so it's just a straight dex.
Cool.
And whilst this happens, the red-haired fellow kind of clicks his fingers at you, Reeve, and have you spoken to my accomplices up on the upper floors of on the main deck?
I believe my colleague Morton did.
I tell you what, there's a half-elf up there. She says she's part of our group, but I don't think she really isn't. I think someone with a firm sense of authority like you would be the best person to find out what she's really about.
What makes you think she's not a merchant?
Merchant's intuition, let's call it.
Not a lot to go on.
Well, sometimes these sort of things are the best things to go on. These hunches.
Very well. We'll look into
But,
it. Thank you.
If you do speak to her alone. I don't think she won't mention anything if there's a big group of you talking to her.
Very well.
Okay, so Knowles rolls a dexterity check, and you manage to jimmy, like, with a... you find some just, like, debris on the floor, then you use it to... you jimmy the lock, and... satisfyingly, the door opens, unsatisfyingly, to reveal an empty cargo room, like a broom cupboard, if you will. Effectively, it's like the mop cupboard.
Dramus pops his...
Swab cupboard.
The whole ship is very disappointing.
I haven't seen anything nice in here yet so far.
Not a lick of magic, not a lick of anything. Just nothing.
No treasures, no parties, no card games.
It's almost as if someone wants us to find nothing and is dangling carrots in front of us.
Whilst you two are looking at that, what's Morton doing?
I think she would have been about to start questioning the merchant and the crew around her, and then as Knowles opens the latrine door and the stench hits Morton, she would have gone, "Oh, fuck me sideways. That smells worse than Branduk's bed." What kind of cargo are you carrying here anyway?
Who are you asking?
The merchant in front of me.
So the merchant says, "Oh, just an assortment of goods from all over the place. The Suzelans love having all of these fancy wares. You understand? Just a bit of this and that and everything and everywhere."
And is this your cargo here in these boxes?
No. We have a special cargo down in the lower decks. If you are interested, I could show it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a look at that. And would I know if there are any? This is a separate question. Would I know if there are any kind of diseases that I've heard of that are some of their symptoms might include sort of memory loss and confusion, and would I recognise any of what I'm seeing in kind of diseases that I've heard of?
Let's find out.
How much drinking can do this? I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot that Subtle's here. So 10. Not that you can think
maybe
of.
Maybe.
What is Subtle doing as he comes barreling down the stairs?
My way away. I've kind of followed like 50%.
Well, so you've just come down into the cargo deck. You've passed Morton. Hello? Oh, we're about to lose him again, aren't we? We'll come back to Anton. Yeah, so Morton, there are no kind of diseases or illnesses that you can think of that cause this sort of kind of foggy-mindedness.
Okay.
But yeah, the merchant says one of my companions is downstairs. It's just if you head down and tell her that I sent you. She's quite shy, so
Perhaps don't all go down at once. If you introduce yourself, she will be more receptive to meeting the others.
And the ship's doctor are they downstairs as well?
She shrugs. She looks at the crewmates. The crewmates look at you blankly. The merchant shrugs. Maybe?
Wow, you've been very fucking helpful. Thank you. And with that, I'll go tell Reeve what I've learned.
Salty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Poor Anton. Okay, so what is Reeve doing?
I think Reeve has probably been considering her next move. Does she want to explore more of this deck or go downstairs? And then when Morton approaches, she sort of turns to Morton to take her report.
Yeah, so again, Bosun can't see any physical injuries, but it may be that there's some kind of disease we're not aware of that's causing the problems. I'm not sure though. It'd help if I could get a look at the cargo that they're shipping downstairs. It might be that that's a carrier for something, or they've had some kind of reaction to it. Or if there's some doctor's notes on board, it'd be good to see those.
Good idea.
At the minute, I feel like I'm flailing around in the dark a bit.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where we can find those things?
Well, the special cargo, as Little Miss Helpful over there called it, is downstairs, but none of them seem to have a clue whether there's a doctor on board.
The red-haired man shouts out, I'm pretty sure there was a doctor downstairs, actually. Sorry, I couldn't help but overhearing you.
Well, I think that's where I best head then, Bosun, with your leave.
Good idea. I don't think we should be splitting up just yet. I think we should all head downstairs.
Aye, aye.
She calls out to the others.
Go on, Knowles.
Can I ask, is it... Would we know where the captain's headquarters were? Did we establish that earlier already?
You have not checked. So you haven't investigated it, but you would know as on a ship of this size, the captain's quarters would be under
So back
the poop
upstairs,
deck.
yeah.
Under the poop... Oh, yeah, okay. Then I guess I'd probably approach Reeve and just say, do you think perhaps it might be... Oh, sorry, wait, forgot. Do you think perhaps maybe it might be worth just checking the captain's log, especially if they all went sailing off and rowed off? Maybe we should check and see if there's any kind of, facts.
It's a good plan, Knowles. But take somebody with you. I don't like the idea of any of us being alone on this ship right now.
I'm happy to go. These three are not being very conversationalist.
Can I insight her, please?
Yeah.
Just to see if she's on the level.
Nice.
21.
He seems very eager.
Mm-hmm.
I
Reeve's
think-
eyes narrow and she says, very well, but someone else from my crew as well.
Of course.
Who volunteers?
Booth, I think, was heading up to the main
Booth?
deck.
You'll go with Knowles.
And so Booth and Knowles, as you kind of come round, and Knowles, you start making your way to the stairs up. The merchant sways on her feet slightly and holds her stomach, closes her eyes, and
Perhaps give me a moment. Perhaps you should go up, just the two of you. I need a moment, she says,
as she sits down and starts kind of heaving and retching as if she's got seasickness.
Do you need...
It'll pass. It's fine. It's fine. Perhaps you have a doctor, yes?
Yes.
Perhaps maybe I do need a look of her. Oh.
Morton?
Inside, check.
Reeve sort of indicates to Morton to check her there in front of everybody.
Yeah, I can take a look.
Jim Dan, is Brandok with Reeves or not?
Where is Subtle? Subtle is stood in the corner looking at the wall.
Yeah, so
You know, I've seen this before. Very, very big hangover. What you need is a sea urchin put inside distilled alcohol and you drink it. Works every time, 100%.
The merchant kind of nods.
No.
Geminides, what do you make of this little show?
Yeah, he's not convinced. It's the sudden excitement for going on the deck towards the sunlight. Oh no, someone's coming with me. But Adromedis is just confused, completely confused, because everything he's been assuming to be going on is not what's going on. So he's racking his brain trying to figure out what he can do.
Yeah. Okay.
As this is a situation he doesn't normally find himself in, where his first assumption is wrong.
Okay. Okay, so who's going upstairs? So Knowles and Booth are heading upstairs.
Mhm.
Okay. Morton, you're with the merchant?
Yeah, I'm trying to basically intimidate her into dropping the act, if it is an act, by kind of very threateningly putting plastic gloves on my hands, laying out all my brutal looking medical instruments, like prepping a huge syringe, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this works for seasickness every time. It's like a huge saw. Just trying to basically get her to like feel better.
I'll add an axe to it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, so hang on. I've got an idea. So Booth and Knowles are going upstairs. Morton's with the merchant. What's Adromedis and Reeves doing?
Reeve is watching. Reeve's not going anywhere while Morton's doing this with Pasha.
Okay. Adromedis?
Staying put. I'm actually just a little stumped, so I guess he's staying put.
Okay. And Subtle?
Brandok will be assisting the medic with the intimidation act by like going, oh, sword, put axe, oh, no, dagger, oh, gun, okay. like I don't know, Brandok might actually have like a severed like finger and just put that there as well. I don't know, something like that.
Subtle, when the sever's been made, obviously you'll just need to fire your gun because the heat from the barrel. Good for cauterizing, so I hear. Is that right, Morton?
Yeah,
Yes,
checks
I've done
out.
this before.
I would
I
very
can
much
also freeze
appreciate
it.
no burning.
Well, in that
I
case, don't worry. I have
I
a
do
spell
not
for
want to
freezing,
burn.
so we could always freeze the wound, or at least freeze the severed limb, because I think a limb is going to be severed. I can freeze it for reattachment later.
Wait, can I keep the bits like last time?
No,
Is it
Subtle,
okay if I do this?
No, Subtle, they need to keep the bits. You can't keep
No,
the bits. It's not yours.
I want the bits. Well, they will be mine.
I guess Adromedis is also helping in the intimidation now.
It would seem so, wouldn't it? Right, so we're gonna do an intimidation check.
Oh,
Actually, sorry, I need to do. Right, if we do 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so 4 of you are selected. So I'm doing the intimidation for 4 of you,
yeah.
but Matt, don't roll yet.
Okay.
So
Can you roll for me, please?
Yeah, the other three of you, if you... Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Not.
Expertise, bitch.
Oh, right. So you've got 4 times advantage. So, Morton, when you click on the dice, you can roll with advantage because you have been successfully aided.
Okay, great. I think I'm
What
probably
were the,
going to need
what were
it.
the rolls, please, Dan?
Roll 20.
Sorry, say again?
What were the rolls?
15, 8, and 24. How did you...
How did you mess up
Oh,
that?
Oh my god, are you serious?
He gets to roll again because he got triple.
No.
You know, this is probably Morton's starts laughing for the fact that everyone is.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was Subtle's comment about keeping the bits broke my stony face.
David, your
It's true.
your pledge to the Hippocratic Oath just couldn't see you through.
Oh, boy.
that was a 3, by the way, Anton. Don't know if you saw that.
Okay,
Oh, my-
so the merchant sort of like looks. She looks very worried at the your 3 accomplices who are just like, yeah, go on. But then when she looks to you, she kind of flashes you these puppy dog's eyes, which melts your heart. And she just kind of laughs. 'Cause she understands the joke.
Yeah, all right then. Just walk it
Not
off. You'll be fine. Some fresh sea air will help you. Get up there.
Thank you. I will go up in a second, she says.
Right.
And try the urchin trick inside the skill. You'll try it. It's good. I'll make you one.
So, Knowles and Booth, you're heading up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, up the stairs you go. Woo! Okay. So, you get up. Sorry, as you get up to the top deck, this merchant kind of heads over to you and, have you found out anything of interest? I see. And just and you, he says, looking to you, Knowles.
I completely agree with my colleague here.
I'm
I have
glad.
nothing else to.
He of course.
Tell me up here.
Ask out. Take a sip. I don't suppose you have seen which way the captain went.
Oh, so yeah, the merchant turns and sort of like points. I believe this is the captain's room over there. He says.
Did you see the captain, get off the ship? Go for a little row?
Can't say I did. No, I apologise.
And how long have you been on this ship before everything started happening?
It's bizarre. I cannot quite remember. You know how it is. Sometimes it takes a significant amount of... sometimes these journeys take quite some time, and the days, they blur together. I'm sure the two of you the two of you know of what I speak of, yes? The merchant... Oh, excuse me, please don't let me interrupt. I'm sure that's the captain's quarters over there, he says, pointing.
While we are up here, Dan,
Mhm.
including the mist, is there anything weird going on with the weather? As including the mist?
It seems very still. Like, to be fair, it was quite a nice day before you hit the mist, but the mist is opaque enough that it's almost like nighttime here. Like the deck is being illuminated by these lanterns primarily.
The question is more because we have been on at sea for, I assume, for a while, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would we know if there is actually a natural cause that can make this happen? Seeing how it has been mentioned there is no magic in the area.
I mean,
Would a nature check tell me?
Quite possibly, yeah, actually. So let's do one of those.
Apparently, no, it would not.
I mean,
It's a 12.
like, maybe it's a bit weird that the fog is just like normally fog definitely rolls across the Dragonmere, but for it to the fact that when you look around it just doesn't seem to be moving away in any direction, that's a bit weird. But I mean, yeah, you've certainly heard the stories how ships on the Dragonmere in the fog and the mist like that. Swings and roundabouts.
I look at Nose.
All right then. Just as a check on that kind of stories of the of the sea, basically on Dragonmere. Is there kind of any? Would it be a history check to kind of see if there are any specific ones relating to a relentless fog that fogs the mind?
Yes. Yeah, history check to think about. Have I just clicked the wrong button? There we are. Yeah, history check, that will let you recall any stories that you've heard of. I mean, there are stories that there are fearsome sea beasts that control the weather. A lot of them are folklore and like stories to scare children who live on the coasts.
But nothing specific to this.
Usually a lot more violent. Yeah.
I think to kind of alleviate the kind of odd mood on the ship, I think Knowles would be relaying some of those stories to Booth as they're walking along, just to kind of ease the tension of the quietness. Imagine there's no birds or anything flying into this fog, for instance. So
you're absolutely right.
It's quite eerie.
All right. So Booth, what are you doing?
Just
are the two of you investigating the captain's quarters?
Yeah.
They investigate the quarters.
Okay, if you head over. Oh, that was the wrong.
Dan, can you move me, please?
Yeah, no worries. Just real quick though.
Okay.
Just real quick though. Just real quick though.
Oh man.
Maybe like a wisdom saving throw.
Never
That's
a
exactly
good
what it
sign.
is, Anton.
Do I get
Again?
advantage?
Hey!
Is there a wisdom saving throw?
It was indeed.
Yeah, there is a wisdom saving throw for sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, charmed, not wisdom. Okay, fine.
There is you kind of get this shudder down your spines. But nothing happens.
Can I ask, is this when we walk past a certain person, or is it just when we get to the door?
Like, as you were heading towards the captain's quarters, you get this shudder. And Adremides, you, in the peripheral of your vision, you see a whoa, like a light flash up.
What?
Let me think. Motes of magical light, like motes of aura, just illuminate for a second and then dim.
What school?
Of the enchantment school.
Adremides, his head sort of turns very quickly. It's like, bingo.
Is it?
Well, it's what I was expecting, but only very briefly. There is enchantment magic at play somewhere. It
Where
happened
did
for the
you see it?
briefest of moments.
You want to play bingo now?
Assuming on towards the deck direction. Yes.
Yeah.
Nod from the DM. On deck. Oh, where Booth
Well,
and
like
Knowles
throughout the ship.
Yeah.
The ship.
throughout this. Oh, okay. A little bit of everywhere.
Be on your
Is it-
guard, all of you.
As I expected. It's nice to know I'm not going senile in my old age.
Knowles and Booth, as you get to the captain's quarters door, the door, it's highlighted by the fact that this door is significantly more ornate in its design than the other doors on the ship.
Can I just check before we go in? When the that wave of weirdness came over, I think Knowles would have looked around at everyone else on the on board the deck, just to see if there's any kind of reaction from anywhere else or from any kind of suspicious looking.
Yeah, so the two crewmates are still rifling through that crate of coal. They appear to be kind of sifting it to the side, looking into the hole they made, and then just kind of filling it back up, and then sifting the coal to the other side, looking at the hole they just made. And, the other crewmate is loosening and unloosening the rigging, and the merchant is just watching him, kind of in bewilderment.
Did you feel that, Booth? Bit odd, wasn't it? Anyway, yeah, I agree. Cook first.
And Cook and Booth goes in first.
Okay.
As we...
The door is locked.
Of course
all
it
right.
is.
Stand by. Go and cause a bit of a distraction for me, and I'll take a look at this. I mean, I know what I'm doing here. Let me just maybe go and shovel some of that coal or something. That seemed to kind of cause a bit of a distraction. And then
It starts going around and asking people if they have rum.
The crew look at you, blink, as if they're not they're just not entirely sure what it is you're asking.
Does Brandok hear this?
No, you are currently downstairs, so unfortunately.
But the question is, am I loud enough? He can still hear me.
In which case, yes.
Here's the thing. Does even the thought of alcohol awaken Brandok? Like, what? Yes? Hello?
Well, speaking of which, Knowles, if you roll the dex check to see if you can get in the door. You do. Yeah, you managed to pick this lock as well. And as you enter in, a stale smell of pipe smoke lingers in the air of this spacious but relatively unfurnished captain's quarters. The bed to your right is neatly made, but doesn't appear to have been slept in for some time. A chair is tucked under a desk at the far end of the room.
Right, well, I don't know. Actually, can Booth see anything in here?
Booth
Nope,
currently
I
cannot. It is very dark in there. So as you enter in, let's jump back to Subtle, Reeve, Morton, and Adremides.
Yeah, Reeve's going to suggest we head downstairs.
Okay.
Subtle will follow.
Okie doke.
Yep.
Adremides?
Germades is trying to. There we go. Germades is moving in a weird way through lag. There it goes.
Okay, so you're heading downstairs as well, yeah?
I can't move.
Let me
Yeah.
There you are. Okay. So, for you four, the lower cargo hold of the ship feels even more oppressive than the other levels, likely due to the single lantern which fails to illuminate the darkness. Sat in the lamplight are two crewmates who do not look up at you, although a woman with her hair tied in a tight bun stands and flashes you a brief smile. She stands up and, "You must be our saviors. I assume you are here to escort us to Susail?"
Bosun Reeve of the Blue Dragons, we're here to investigate what's happened on this ship. Don't worry, madam, we're going to have you on the move as soon as we can.
Marvelous. I truly appreciate everything that you are doing for us. I would strongly urge that I am here with some companions, and it is quite urgent that we make it to Suzail as soon as possible.
So I've heard. What are you, what is this special cargo we keep hearing about?
They're just a collection of fine wares and goods from all across the Middle East of the continents. Some fine elven wares, all the way from Evermeet.
Yeah, Reeve is going to defer to her crewmates. Would it be a good idea if we sort of start taking a look around?
Yes, so let us with the keen eyes have a quick scooch, Captain. Not Captain, Reeve.
Can Brandok smell some of the crates? Or basically, yeah, just go around. Yeah,
I'll roll a perception for you.
cool. The smell-based perception, please. Mostly he's hungry, so he's hoping there's food in some of this.
You give a lot of these crates a good hearty sniff, but perhaps too much proximity to your prototype black powder boom tube has wrecked your nasal capacity.
That's true.
So Adremides, as you kind of step around, you notice that towards the stern of the ship, like the lamp just does not illuminate and it's just pitch black. The lamp also appears to be affixed to the wall. You know that Subtle and Reeve can see in the dark, though.
Investigation check for where I am.
Sorry?
Can I do an investigation check or something? And just on anything that may seem odd or anything that we haven't picked up. So just Adremides taking his time to just sort of look at everything through a lens, literally.
You notice. So the one thing that you've noticed now that you've got to the bottom of the ship, unless they're all huddled in the darkness, there aren't anywhere near as enough. There is nowhere as near enough crew that you found for a ship this size. Like a ship this size would be crewed by 40 plus, and you've seen maybe 10. You've also noticed that the merchants are the only ones who are a bit more cognate, but that would have been something you realise on the way down.
Reeve, do you notice there are a distinct lack of crew members?
Now that you mention it.
It just all seems to be passengers and a very vocal merchant.
Yes, well, I think you and Morton should carry on looking for the doctor. Subtle, you're with me. And she starts walking around towards the darker part of the hold.
Okie
Should we try this
bosun.
door over here?
And Morton?
Morton's squatting down by this guy who looks like Jesus here, and is, I guess, trying to see if these two seem worse than the others we've seen. She's trying to see if there's a sort of pattern of them getting worse as we get deeper into the ship, or if there's not.
No,
Anything
these
like that.
ones, they look relatively... Like, they look just as kind of confused as the rest of them. They don't seem much different at all. Okay, so Reeve, as you step into the darkness, is Subtle going with you? Sorry. Okay, as you go with you, we'll quickly swing back to Booth and Knowles. So Knowles, you can see into the room. Booth, you cannot. What are you doing?
Right, Booth, give me just a minute. Maybe you should just watch the door for now. And then I will look around. Is there a book on the bed?
There is not, no.
That's
But
just
if you're,
the-
are you doing a scan of the room? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely doing a scan of the room, and actually
Okay.
probably going up to the desk and looking more sincerely at the desk.
So on the captain's desk, you find a number of items you would normally expect to find there: maps, navigation apparatus, and a captain's log. As you're looking at that, Booth, you're at the door. Okay. Booth, you notice that. So from where you're stood, you can see the darker skinned merchant. And you watch as he sees you kind of come out, and then he sort of looks at you and then looks around a bit shiftily, and then kind of disappears off behind. Well, yeah, it's sort of you see him kind of shuffle off behind the mast pole, almost as if he was watching you.
I think Booth is going to shout inside.
Is that I'll be back in 1 second? Okay,
Are you
yes,
going to be
I'm
okay?
getting it.
Are you gonna be okay for a second?
Okay.
I think as Noel, probably just do exactly what I'm doing in real life and going, sure!
Okay. So, Booth, you heading over?
Now heading over.
Okay. Cool. So, Booth, as you make your way over, as you round the mast, you notice that Tanor is not there.
Weird. Can I investigate what's going on?
Well, I can instead get you to do one of those.
Before you do anything,
Uh
I am thinking, can I am going to use one of my luck points. Add a D20 to this roll.
I
Not sure if I'm
think
liking.
I think you can roll that again from the.
Okay, will do. No, I can't, but it's fine. on. I'm just going to roll the old-fashioned way. Oh no, I'm keeping the 14. It's fine.
Wow.
Oh dear.
And I'm gonna need one of these. No, sorry. Okay, so Knowles.
Yep.
The captain's log
Mhm.
contains the type of entries you would expect: records of cargo, passengers, and destinations. You notice that the captain has left personal comments on some of the log entries. The captain's latest grievance is the eggy smell they kept on smelling from some of the passengers. It would appear the most recent departure was from Westgate. 6 names are added to the passenger log. Ulsamir Eldry, half-elf woman. Friest Raynarth, human man. Cedros Gwenin, human woman. Vadrask Pasha, human woman. Vadrask Ilmed, human man. Ochi Gwenmi Tanor, human man.
Is there any more comments on them, or is it just are they the eggy people?
Well, that's the 6 names, and yeah, there is an eggy smell coming from some of the passengers.
Okay. Is there anything about the cargo there that explains anything unusual or odd or different?
No, it just like lists the number of like crates and boxes and whatnot. But okay, could I have a perception check, please?
Yep.
Okay. So outside Booth, as you kind of round the corner and have a little look to see what's up. I'm gonna need
Why
one
is
of
the DM
those.
smiling?
I'm gonna need one of
That's fine.
those.
Never trust a smiling DM.
And
Not good.
Knowles, I'm gonna need one of those.
Oh dear.
Here we go.
Oh dear.
So Knowles, as you read the captain's log, and think that's a very specific thing for the captain to moan about, your heightened half-elven senses pick up a very distinctive eggy smell. And as you turn round, there is a half-elf stood behind you.
You didn't half give me a fright.
There's a half-elf beside you who puts a hand on your shoulder and squeezes, staring you dead in the eyes. But nothing happened.
Not really in the mood for a massage at the moment. Maybe if we just go out that way.
And the half-elf looks at you with wide eyes. Booth,
Oh no.
you take 18 psychic damage as a hand grabs the back of your shoulder,
Ouch. Dude.
and you feel a ripping sensation in your head.
Ooh.
And With that, we will take a short break.
Oh no.
Oh, more than half my health is now gone.
God.
Shit.
See you in a
If
bit.
Oh.
In a bit.
After a somewhat elongated break, we are finally back. It was a long enough break that we all decided to do a costume change, as you may see.
We were stuck
but-
in a liminal state, not quite living and not quite dead. It's like a constant state of sleep paralysis.
So, where we left off, Booth has just experienced a searing, ripping sensation tear its way through his mind. Knowles is currently toe-to-toe, well, face-to-face with... let's put Subtle back down here. Yeah, Knowles is face-to-face with the half-elf woman that she met up on the upper deck not too long ago. The half-elf is wide-eyed, like crazy and wide-eyed. And what do you do? What do you do, Knowles?
Just can I do a... Ooh. Would it be perception or insight to kind of find out if I kind of know what she's trying to do? Or a magic check, I guess. Arcana check.
You can...
Would it be clear?
So, well, if you're looking to discern like her motives, it would be an insight. If you were trying to deduce her methods, perhaps Arcana.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for an Arcana check. No.
Okay. So as you sort of like look around, spin on the spot, and look at Eldry, like a bit confused, and kind of look down at her hand. She, like I say, she's got these kind of crazy wide eyes and then she snaps back for a moment, and she kind of takes a few steps back, and I didn't mean to startle you. I apologize.
Yeah, it's a bit weird of you just to pop on in here with Are you okay? You seem a bit out of sorts.
Oh, well, it's just... I noticed how... when I saw you going into the captain's quarters, I thought it would be appropriate if I followed you in. Just to try and help you solve this mystery.
I'd prefer it if I had a bit of peace, if you don't mind. Would you like to just walk out now?
Remember Noel's accent. She's. I love that accent.
Eldry looks to you and sort of like turns and looks at the door, and of course, she says, and you watch as she sort of like steps to her, like with her back to the wall, and then like watching you as she walks away, just kind of shimmies along the wall of the captain's quarters.
Before she goes, I'm just gonna
Yes.
hold up there, my lovely. And then I'll just run up to her and try and turn her around.
Yeah, she turns to look to you.
No, the other way around. Because, she's hiding
what?
her back, basically.
Oh, I see. Hang on. Right, let me do that. Sorry, 2 secs. Yes, she sort of like you grab her and you turn. Well, you as you kind of try to flip her around to face the door, she struggles with you a little bit.
Okay.
In so much that are you trying to, in effect, you know, if you're effectively trying to grab her, if you will.
Yeah.
That's going to be an acrobatics, and you're going to roll an athletics.
Cool. Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, wait and see. Oh.
Darn it.
Okay. Yeah, she slips out of your grasp and just kind of takes a few kind of cautious steps away from you. And I'm sorry. It's just I feel a bit jumpy at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you should do. There seems to be a bit of quite a big spider on your back there. I'm not sure it's one of those the good kind or the poisonous kind. I just wanted to see if I could help you with it.
She sort of looks at you and like starts to look over her shoulder in case there is a massive spider. And then as she kind of looks back to you, she you see her eyes open and she looks over her shoulder at something in the corner of the room.
And
her eyes are wide open.
Okay, I guess I grab her if I can. No, I can't because I've just tried. Didn't work. I guess I just probably shift back to the wall and then turn around as well. Well, not turn, but just look over quickly.
Okay.
Oh. There is no active combat encounter.
There is not, no. Okay, tell you what, let's... I thought it was being right clever. Huh? Just do that then.
Finally.
Right. So, quicker than her, you look over into the corner of the room where her eyes were looking, and you realise that there's nothing there, and you manage to look back just quick enough to see her disappear.
Oh. For goodness sake. Right.
And what's your perception? 14. You watch as what appears to be a wet, an almost, what looks almost like a slug trail disappears down between the cracks of the floorboard.
Ew, that doesn't look nice at all. Right. Okay. So is that where, basically from where Eldry was standing, there is now a slug trail?
Well, there was, and it just kind of disappeared down through the cracks. Like a noodly appendage.
Just to check, I've still got the log, right? Or did I just read it and then leave it?
No,
right. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else in the room at all, then I'll leave the room.
Okay.
And
which case,
run out.
So, I just need to quickly do a quick whisper. Cool. And as you run out, you can see Booth stood by the stairs to the lower decks. And Tanor sort of like has an arm around Booth's shoulders, and he's, Are you okay, my friend? You look a little pale.
I'd probably run up then to Booth and go, Booth, we gotta go downstairs right now. Can't do that. Gotta go downstairs right now. There's some slug people.
Booth turns to you slowly and turns around, looks very closely at everything around him, looks back at you and says like, over.
What's the common translation?
Actually looks at you and like takes out his flask, takes a very, very small sip, says, Narvi.
Narvi?
Where are we?
Narvi.
Oh, where are we? Well, we're on this weird old ship, aren't we? With the weird
How did
slug
we get
people
here?
and...
Slug people.
Are you alright, Booth?
No. I was on the ship, and I was on a different ship. My head hurts.
Tanor kind of shakes his head, like nods his head towards Booth, looks at you, shakes his head, and I think your friend is suffering a spot of seasickness, perhaps.
It's a bit strange, isn't it? Maybe, how about we all go downstairs, down to the below deck, and, how about you come with us, and we'll figure out what's going on here.
Who are you? That Tanor.
Was that, who are you? Tanor, he leans in and, you know me. My name is Tanor. I'm one of the merchants you promised to take to Suzail as quickly as you could.
I promised no such thing.
No, I mean it was about 10 minutes ago. It was quite recent. You definitely promised me. And
I think
my
I would
companions-
remember something like that. I did not promise no such thing. I can't even promise anything like that, being how I'm not the captain.
And Tanor kind of looks you up and down, and that's a shame for sure. Well, and he looks at you, Knowles. Perhaps you should take him down to your other crewmates. He doesn't look like he's in the best of health.
He does seem a bit strange, doesn't he? You know what, though? We're having this investigation, right? And I think it would be a really, really good idea if you just pop down below deck with the rest of the merchants, and we could all have a chat together,
I would, but silly me. I'm actually claustrophobic. That's why I choose to stay up here on the deck.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry. Me and Booth will take really good care of you, and I'll just nod and go, Booth?
I
You want to
came
grab
up-
his arm?
And as you approach Tanor to manhandle him, he starts protesting and looks to you, and I really wouldn't suggest this. I'm a terrible internal occupant.
Oh, nonsense. It'll be absolutely fine. Just, you know what? I could put a little, maybe, there's some sack, I think, over there. I could put a little sack over your head if that would help. Maybe it would just keep you in the dark, it would be like you're on asleep.
He, bear with me 2 seconds. Okay. La da da, la da dee, la da da. Booth. Actually, yeah, just roll as a normal booth.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oh,
Well done, Silver.
Oh,
Okay, so Booth, you roll a 17, and like as Knowles kind of approaches Tanor and starts kind of puts one hand on the nape of the neck, one hand like on the wrist to kind of drag him in. You notice that Tanor's eyes kind of like widen, and for a moment he seems to speak this alien dialect. And Knowles, you stop and realize that, I mean, this man is your friend. Why are you trying to lay hands on him? If he doesn't want to go inside, I mean, you know, Tanor's never liked going inside, so if he doesn't want to, then surely, you know, very good friends, people with which you have a friendly disposition towards, would just, you know, let them be.
Do you know what? I think that's being a bit silly, really, aren't I? About you sit up here. You know, you don't want to go downstairs where it's all, you know. Oh, we'll go down, and you can just enjoy the fresh air and the dead quiet.
Thank you, he says, and he turns to look at you, Booth, expectantly, and you know, tries to pull his arm
how
away.
far away are the stairs?
You are right next to them.
Excellent. I'm gonna pick him up and throw him down.
Okay. In which case, right. So let's do a. Not one of those. Let's do. So Tanor is acrobatics. Booth is athletics. Just so
I think I'm still fine.
Booth, you roll a 13, but Tanor, as you go to make your move and your brain starts to feel a bit fuzzy and cloudy, but you kind of shake your way through it. You grab Tanor and as he and you toss him, like you throw him, and you watch as he kind of bounces off the side of the stairwell and kind of kind of rolls down the stairs. Two of you real quick. Roll me a perception check.
God.
Booth, you rolled a 9.
Yeah, that's gonna get boring very quickly.
And yeah, he you watch as this merchant goes tumbling down the stairs.
Oh dear, I don't think that's going to help with his claustrophobia, you know, Booth.
Are you charging down after him?
For sure.
Okay. Cool,
Probably
cool.
now in more
So
of a kind
as-
of way of going, oh, I don't know if that was helpful. Go and see if he's all right.
So as the two of you go charging down into the deck, let's catch up with the rest of the crew. So subtle, Reeve, you are stepping into the darkness. Adremides, you're stood next to Gwenin. Morton, you're stood opposite. Yeah, what does Morton do?
Would we have heard the sounds of somebody falling down the stairs upstairs?
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Okay.
Although,
So-
actually, sorry, to be fair, because we spent quite a long time on top deck, this would be happening before that, and then I'll cut in the rapid descent.
Sure. So before Morton hears anything like that, she'd be wanting to turn to this merchant here, Gwenin, and say, "Oh, is your this cargo that everyone's talking about? It's not in these crates, is it?"
Gwenin looks to you and, well, it's all of the cargo that's ours, actually. And a lot of it is perishable, so we really must make haste to sail.
Yeah, I'll bear that in mind. And Morton's going to crack one of the crates open.
Okay. So, and you notice that Gwenin doesn't really make a move to stop you. But you crack it open, and this crate is full of sacks of walnuts.
Walnuts. Okay.
Convincing. Very convincing.
Yeah. There doesn't look to be anything in it that, in my medical opinion, could cause disease or anything like that's afflicting the crew.
No, the crewmate next to you kind of stands up a bit groggily, looks into the crate and, "I love walnuts," he says.
I'll just chuck him a bag of them and then close the crate again.
And he looks to you, he looks to the merchant, he looks to you, and he's like tilts his head because you're clearly the commanding officer in this circumstance. You are the power of authority. And he, "Oh, don't mind if I do," he says, as he gets out his little knife and cuts open the bag and start eating the walnuts.
I'll turn back to Gwenin and go, "What's behind that door? Is that the sick bay?" The one Adremides is stood on.
Adremides, this sheet. Oh, you mean this door?
She looks in and she says, "It's more cargo. There was quite a influential weapons trader in Westgate, and we bought a lot of the cargo from him. All sorts of weapons that perhaps are a bit too heavy duty for the likes of yourselves. Maybe the purple dragons. Perhaps these will end up in their hands one day."
I find it rather odd that you're carrying walnuts and weapons, just sort of all manner of different trades. I imagine if we pop open a different crate, we're going to find, I don't know, iron ingots for the blacksmiths, or we're going to pop open another crate and find jewels for the royal family.
Gwenin smiles, and clearly you don't appreciate the importance of a tail end business. You could,
Important.
I mean, actually, Gwenin, wasn't it? Gwenin?
Yes.
May I have a look at your manifesto?
Gwenin looks to you for a moment, and I'm sure you can. We'd have to speak to one of my accomplices to. I'm not sure where it is.
Oh.
Come on, Morton.
He's not having any of that.
Morton, perhaps due to your Yeah, but given that you work so hard, so you can play so hard, like the way that she's fidgeting, her body language just screams that she doesn't have a clue whether or not where the manifesto is. With a 21, you don't know. You realise she probably doesn't know if there is a manifesto. Utterly clueless, and she's just lying through her teeth.
So I get the sense that she doesn't really know that it's not really their cargo. They're not really that. Okay.
Well, you get the impression that it's not. She's not as au fait with the contents of her cargo as she's making out to be.
Okay.
Old Morton, everything okay?
Yeah, perhaps a word in here, Adremides. I'll step
course.
into this room.
Don't go anywhere, Gwydin. Trust me, I'll know I'm a wizard. Oh god, it's dark! I'm gonna leave the door open, that way I can keep an eye on you.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't think this woman's got much clue about this cargo. Something fishy about her.
Oh, and my monocle keeps going off. There's a lot of enchantment magic in this place. A lot of things are not as they seem. But if you're saying that she has no clue where the manifesto is, maybe we can accuse them of smuggling and see if we can scare them into giving us an honest answer.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. You could put the fear into them about a hefty fine. That might loosen their lips a bit.
Let's try that one, but keep an eye. You seem to be better at telling if these people are lying than I do.
Alright, shall I get my bone saw out again?
Oh yes, please. That worked very well last time. Although I'm not sure how it would work here, but let's keep it out just in case.
Okay. Alright.
Gwynny!
Just so hang on, before you two come out.
What is up with these such divergent roles? Crazy. Private roles.
I don't trust that DM face.
Yeah, it's never good when the DM's rolling privately.
Never trust a smiling DM.
Ooh, so you, Morton and Adremides, as you agree, plan on kind of heading back out to talk to Gwenin. Morton, perhaps because you're a bit further into the room, you don't see it. Adremides, as you turn your head to look back to where Gwenin is, you watch as she disappears.
Oh my god.
Adremides slowly slides his wand out from his out from the back. You know, he's got it tucked in the back of his pants, gangster style. So he pulls his wand out.
What is it? What do you see?
Our friend has disappeared all of a sudden.
Sneaky fucker.
There wasn't long enough for them to run away. So something is going on here, and I'm pretty sure we're about to... Actually, did any magical things chime when she disappeared? No.
Seemed to melt away.
I would say...
I think,
Tell
sorry,
yourself.
I'm just going to bump in. Yes, Matt is going to get an inspiration for every time he swears. So...
Every time.
with a reason. I don't want to make an actual
Every third time.
foul-mouthed sailor of you in real life.
Yeah. This is painful. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Adremides Morton, you've Adremides, you've pulled out your wand, and the crewmate who was kind of propped up against the boxes. He's just been kind of looking off to his right, inspecting the half orc and the dwarf that just wandered into the darkness, and he turns his head. Oh, where'd she go?
I'm wondering if you can tell us that, friend.
The crewmate looks around and, well, I thought she was with you, he said. And the other crewmate is too busy eating his walnuts to have noticed.
Is there anything where she was standing? Is there any kind of obvious trace of anything that we would see?
Find out.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Just a bedroll on a pallet.
Think, my friend Morton, we need to prepare ourselves for the unexpected.
Yeah. I wonder how the other two are getting on. It's been a while since they left, isn't it?
It is, but don't worry. Should anything happen, they will pick it up. If anything magical happens, if they get shanked, then I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah,
But
that's my fear.
If they get magically shanked, I'll know about it. So take solace in that. At least one way we'll know if our friends are in danger.
Yeah, really, you're always very comforting to talk to in Remedies.
I know, right? They were said when I left the college, I was be the one that'd probably bring. No, best not. Actually, it wasn't kind what they said.
At this point, you hear boom, 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 boom from above your heads.
Sounds like someone's getting non-magically shanked. We'd better get up there.
So go.
Sorry, I think I just had a brownout. It's just all
Oh,
my
what?
lights just dipped.
Oh, right.
Anyway, yes, quickly. Booth is either making friends or someone's making friends with Booth's face.
I'll just shout, Reeve, bosun, better get up here.
Well, hang on. Before you guys make your moves, we will jump back another handful of rounds. Reeve and Subtle Brannock, as Adremides and Morton begin interrogating. So hang on, let's put her back for a second. As Morton and Adremides interrogate the crewmate, you hear one of the crewmates go, "Oh, I love walnuts." As the two of you kind of step into the darkness.
Okay. I say, with me, Subtle.
Okie dokie.
Something not right about those merchants between you and me.
I know, they always selling things for money. No fun.
Well, yes, but that's not what I mean on this occasion.
You think they smell funny?
It is yet to be seen. Open the door, please. Get ready to shoot whatever's on the other side.
Yes. Oh, wait. But Captain said not to shoot.
Well, sure. I mean, depends what's on the other side, doesn't it?
I guess. I'll have to ask Captain about this. And Braddock will open the door.
Okay, so yeah, there is a door at the far end of the bottom cargo hold. As you go to open it, it's locked.
It's locked.
Well, open it then. You have my
Okie
permission.
And Braddock will take the cannon and swing at the lock.
As okay, so as you as you go to swing at the
Why am I Magnus? That's not right. How do I change to not being Magnus?
Oh no.
So as you kind of heft up your cannon to swing it at the door. So give me 2 secs.
Yeah, how come you guys are in character and I'm not?
I don't know.
Method acting. No, sorry. Kidding. I don't know.
I think it's because. Oh yeah, no, it's just test.
There we go. Okay, I think I just need to click on him.
Okay.
Nice.
You hear a voice from behind you say, the captain would rather you didn't.
Our captain?
You turn around to see one of the crewmates that you don't remember seeing there a second ago, but it is kind of dark.
Where did you come from?
Oh, I was just over here, she says, and she points to one of the sleeping bags.
Very well. What's behind the door?
It's some more cargo. The captain said not to let anyone in. I mean, the lock on the door holding it shut isn't actually ours. But I'm not sure who's got the key. It might be lost, actually. I don't know where the key is.
That's
What is-
convenient.
Where is Captain now?
I believe he got on a boat, and yeah, he said something about dancing lights off in the mist, and got in a boat with the first mate and sailed off into the mist.
Mhm.
So you don't have captain. So we have captain. Therefore, our captain decides. Okay.
But I mean, this is
This
our
is-
ship, though. Blue
This
Dragon.
is how. No. This is how ship works. Captain decides. We follow.
And we are not crewmates of your ship, so if you'll forgive me, as part of our investigation, we'd like to see what's behind this door.
She steps forward, and from what I've heard, I really wouldn't recommend it.
Reeve leans forward and sort of over her, and in her most intimidating, but intimidatingly calm face says, "And what have you heard?"
The crewmate looks around and then gestures you in to whisper in your ear.
Right. Okay, Reeve's leaning in.
And as she leans in, she places her hand on the back of your neck.
Right.
And a worm enters your ear.
Oh no. Hope not.
DM, I'm assuming every time these happen, I get a blip of enchantment. Oh, okay.
I'll let you know when they do.
Nope. Fail.
As she whispers something unintelligible in your ear, and as the words are processed in your brain, you take 24 psychic damage
Oh boy.
as you feel a ripping, tearing sensation through your head.
Reeve clutches at her head and keels over unconscious.
Oof.
God.
What did you do? What did you do?
The crewmate steps back and... Oh. And she looks up at you.
You do bad thing.
Is she alright?
No, you did bad thing to her. And he'll call out for sorry, who am I calling out for? The medic, which is Morton. Morton.
No.
Then make a dex check.
Yeah, it's an initiative check, in effect.
Okay. Yeah. Win.
Okay. She looks at you. She looks a bit concerned because she wasn't expecting the half-orc to keel over. No! The half-orc wouldn't keel over, would she?
Oh, sorry, she's on 1 hit point. Yeah.
Very good.
But still, she's on her knee. She's like collapsed to one knee, I suspect.
That's
like
true.
She's
that
gone
is very,
to
very
0
true.
and back up to 1.
In which case, the crewmate kind of looks at you, Brannock, a bit shocked, and then you see her reaching out for you.
Whack her!
Yeah, Brannock will swing his cannon and try and knock her hand away, and yell out for Morton. Morton!
Okay, so the cannon is somewhat unwieldy, so it's actually an improvised attack. Unless you just want to try and like shove her away.
Yeah, I'll shove her away.
Okay, cool. In which case, that is gonna be a not one of those. It's gonna be subtle. You're gonna use. I suspect you're gonna use your athletics. Oh yeah, you're shoving. Yeah, you would.
Sure.
Acrobatics.
Let's go. Do you got anything? No. Oh, well
God,
done.
such low rolls tonight.
Well done.
Such low rolls all around.
Okay, so you shout out for Morton as you shove this crewmate. She seems to just kind of slide round your hand, and then reaches out to you and kind of palms your face.
Sweet.
And subtle. Have a wisdom save, please.
Oh, Subtle has a wisdom of. Let's have a look. 0. Nice. Normal roll! Oh,
Okay.
probably nothing else.
Oh. Whoop. You saw nothing. You take 23 damage.
Stop it.
We could be
As
finishing early
a-
tonight, guys.
As a psychic tearing rips through your mind.
Yeah, it's going to be a very short episode.
Yeah.
How
GG.
can they do this 4d8 psychic thing? She only just did it. It's not even got a cooldown.
You're everywhere.
Alright, can we just go into initiative and kill her now?
Mhm.
Or they kill us, you know? So,
Yeah, sure.
Let's just go for it. Oh! Subtle goes, clutches his head, goes, oh! Big hangover! Oh!
Yeah, Reeve is kind of looking around a bit confused, saying, "Oh, are we on the ship already? What's happening?"
What is the name of our ship, Dan?
We were the
Maiden.
Fortune's
Is
Call, weren't we?
that our ship?
Yeah,
This
that's our
ship.
ship.
Yes, because
No.
this is the Siren's Tier.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Fortune's Call.
Claw.
Floor. And the sirens?
Tear.
Tier.
Dear.
I
Like
love how
us.
you and me, Julia, are both like claw and then tier, like.
Like we're going to be doing in about 20 minutes when we're
When
all
all our
dead.
characters are dead.
What was your question, Reeve?
She asked, "Are we on the ship already? What's happening?"
Yes, well, you know, we are on our ship, of course.
This isn't our ship.
What do you mean it's not our ship?
Who are you? She looks up at Deleva.
Dan, you're on mute, I think.
Hello. Sorry, big one. Yeah, Deleva looks to the two of you. She's got kind of wearing this shocked look as she kind of looks to the two of you, and then there's like almost like an expression of relief that spreads across her face, and then she places a hand on both of your shoulders, and I'm one of the crewmates of this merchant ship, the Siren's Tier. you were talking, and then all of a sudden you came over all funny. I hope you're all right. Perhaps stay here for a second just to recuperate. Meanwhile, so as an addendum, Morton and Adremides, you've heard this boom 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 from above your heads, as have you, Subtle and Reeve, but a bit quieter. But Morton and Adremides, as you go to head up the stairs, you hear Subtle shout out, "Morton! Morton!"
All right.
Subtle's been calling you from the darkness at the end of the cargo hold.
So Morton will crane her head around and peer into the dark, but not being able to see anything. Can I take this lamp here off its setting?
Unfortunately, it's fixed to the wall. But as you kind of peer into the darkness, you see a shape begin to emerge from the darkness.
Oh,
And Subtle walks out without his cannon and goes, "Your thumbs up."
Cecil, you all right? What's wrong? Where's you gone?
Lift it back there. It was it was too clumsy to carry around.
Is he? Because I'm guessing looking confused is pretty common for Subtle. So is he like looking more not with it than usual? Is he visibly injured? I guess I'm asking. Right.
DM, can I argue for a quick history check? Thank you.
I tell you what, Morton rolls insight.
Can we roll perception, please? Because they are literally about 20 foot away, 30 foot away from us doing this.
Nice. These are the numbers we need.
Yeah, I imagine if we get that, I imagine Adremides is like, Subtle has never been without his cannon.
Subtle,
Yes?
you rolled an 18, and Reeve,
Hi, bro.
you rolled a 2.
Yeah.
So Morton, you crit. Oh, blimey. Okay, so sorry, let's go. Adremides, what were you hoping to gain from your history check?
Thinking back, has Subtle ever left his cannon behind? And I imagine Subtle's the kind of guy who, like the Heavy, sleeps with his cannon. His cannon's in his bed with him. To leave it behind because it's unruly? No way. Subtle and that cannon is an appendage.
You remember not 2 days ago having an argument with Subtle Brannock because he insisted on taking that damn boom tube into the toilets on the Fortune's Claw. And he spent ages, like, he got it in all right somehow, but he caused a massive queue because it got trapped on the doorway on the way out. And he was adamant he got it in there. He can get it out. Just wait.
I was trying to oil it, that's all. I was having, time with the cannon.
Natasha! Who touched my gun?
So yes, Subtle is rarely without his cannon. Morton, in response to your question, does he look a bit confused? Crit, quite the opposite. You've never seen Subtle so on point before.
Okay, this worries Morton a lot.
Morton, duck.